A very good morning to you and a warm welcome to Thursday edition of U45 Morning Show. I'm Adik here at G-Boy. A warm welcome.
All right, we're glad to have you all here. Thank you very much for joining us. I mean, it's a beautiful day. It's Throwback Thursday. Some of you are ready for the weekend. You're set for the weekend. Well, I hope you have a lovely, lovely day. Welcome. Shegudinola Diemi is the name.
Good morning, Nigerians. Good morning, everybody. My name is Solomon Asagi. It's great to be here this morning. Looking good as usual, Nike.
Yeah, thank you so much. I ain't got no choice. I have to look good for Nigerians.
Yes.
And you look good too.
Thank you. It's like this economy is not telling on you.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't.
I like that.
Not even any economy on its knees will stop us from always looking good, because looking good is always a good business. All right, viewers, of course, you know how we drive your day on U45 Morning Show. Yes, this Thursday edition is going to be taking a new dimension. And this time around, we will be letting you know what is trending. First of all, and of course, on major matters arising, we will be looking at the compulsory free universal basic education bill. A bill set to jail parents who fail in their responsibility to send their children, or guardians who also fail in the same line to send their words to school. How feasible is this bill? Is this going to pass? Parents really going to go to jail? Details of all of these you'll find out in this edition of U45 Morning Show. So right about now, let's now go straight to Shegu. Shegu, tell us what's trending.
All right, so basically we've all heard about this saga between Abu Salami and Davido, and then the old 30BG gang as a team. So apparently Abu Salami was arrested for cyberbullying Davido, for stalking, for character defamation, and then also for signature forgery.
Like, really, signature forgery? I'm really interested in this area. Like, I don't get it. You know, a lot of people say that when you are a star, you also need to be wary of the people that come around you. You know, a lot of people are psychophans. They come around you, but beyond that coming around you, they're also using you beyond your knowledge to ensure that they amass wealth in their own pocket. And that's why you see that some stars, they are very strict. You see them sometimes, they don't want to fraternize with you. They don't just want you to come around. But of course, they are in a showbiz business. And so it's pretty difficult for them to segregate or say, this is the people I want to be around me, or these are the set of people I don't want to mingle with. But then to say that somebody is going out there to forge his signature, I mean, that is out of place.
For the purpose of those that are listening, I mean, some of them will be wondering, what are these guys talking about? Who is Abu Salam? So maybe you could do a quick rundown of the background to the story.
Okay, so Abu Salami is a businessman, a show promoter, a sport promoter. So what happened was, there's this sport business trying to like form an academy, raise people so as to bring in scouts, you understand, to pick and all of that. So he's just trying to make money for himself, and he felt like, okay, who can I speak with? So he went through Davido, like, okay, you know what, let's talk to Davido, let's use Davido, since he's one of the biggest artists in Nigeria of our time. So that happened, and then at the end of the day, the deal did not pull through. It was like he had to pay hotel fee, accommodation, feeding, and all of those, and then he had set up so many things. They lost 20 million naira, so that's all of that is on his deal. And then, so what happened is the team members from 30BG now came out to say, you know what? I think we should come and say things the way they are.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
First of all, you forged Davido's signature. to get one deal, you forged Davido's signature. That's one, but we're not going to look into that. You said Davido did not turn up for your business. This made you lose this. Did you remember that Davido
manager? Even the manager would have, signed some deals ahead of time for him. But the question I want to ask is this, Shegun. Even if he's saying that Davido failed to show up in his program, the question is, was there any written agreement in which Davido signed and confirmed that he would be available for that program?
It was a WhatsApp message. Like you're just starting on WhatsApp and everything.
He doesn't have a case.
Now, the issue now is saying Davido is owing him money and all of that. Then the manager, one of the managers and PAs were now like, okay, you know what? If you're to pay, because he did a video shoot and Davido was there. So Davido did like a video commercial for him towards the campaign for his program. Now, they now said, if you're to pay for this, you're the one owing Davido.
So which means he failed in that area. He couldn't meet that bargaining, right? I think the guy does not really have a case. So he doesn't have a case.
So him coming out to call Davido a thief for this one,
that's wrong. If I were to be Davido, I would do the same.
So he got arrested, and so basically people are now like, well, I think that serves him right.
So he's been sued now he's been arrested for defamation of character, and forgery and all of that.
All of that.
I think he should go and face the consequences of his action.
It definitely will.
Please, there's no what next.
And then another thing is, this one is a rather sad story, but then we thank God. Always thank God for life. Nigerian actor Kelechi Udegbe, I mean, a fantastic actor. He was involved in a ghastly car accident, but we thank God he's alive, he's doing well. And then before this happened, so this happened, and then they had 2 days after this happened, they had this movie premiere.
This is a write-off.
A movie premiere. So people were like, thank God he's even alive to attend the movie premiere, because he was a star actor in the movie. So we're just, everybody in the industry just saying thank God, because I mean, we've lost so many people in that creative industry. We're just happy that he's alive.
Yes,
and that also reminds me, as much as I feel for him, we still thank God, like you said, that he's healed and hearty, still alive, and that is the most important thing, that you're alive. That also brings to mind the actor too, whose leg is now being amputated, the comedian,
Mr. Okafor. We're going there too, because
that's disturbing.
It's the way it is now. I don't know, but I think people have to be cautious of themselves, have to be aware of their health,
their system,
their well-being. So at least we thank God Mr. Ibutu is still alive, but he's been amputated. The daughter came on social media to say, okay, that he had just gone through surgery, and this is, at least we thank God.
But I think the cause of his sickness is diabetes or dialysis. Which of it?
Yeah, dialysis. And so now there's a twist to it, because some people are saying Mr. Ibu is the cause of the problem. That they spoke to him a couple of years back, that he should watch what he eats,
consumes.
You understand? He should do this one, he should do this one, he should stop this, he should stop this, but he didn't listen. Didn't listen. But then, few years back, he had this spiritual issue that really almost took his life. Do you understand? So all of those things combined together is part of things that's telling on him now. But we thank God he's alive, and he's still soliciting for well-meaning Nigerians to support financially
Absolutely.
I think kudos should be given to Nigerians who have also showed empathy to Mr. Ibu. But I think at this junction, my advice is we need to take our health more seriously. You need to watch what you consume. When you realize that your stomach is unnecessarily, bloated, protruding, you need to check it. You can just meet health experts, medical practitioners. Let them explain to you what you can take. And fruits are also very good. In this part of the world, a lot of people don't know the significance, the importance of taking fruits. We just run into your beans.
People know, right? I beg to differ on that. People know.
Oh, exactly.
But now, in Nigeria as it is, fruit is not a necessity. It feels like a luxury.
But you know what, Shegun?
Fruits?
Actually, fruits should not be luxury. I know because of the fuel price and everything. It's gone up, because you'll be amazed. Even banana now, what they sell for you for now, we buy banana as much as 1,000 naira, 800, and you can count it.
Thank you.
And you can count it, and these are perishable fruits. So. But the thing is, whatever the case is, you have to understand that your health supersedes every other thing. So you have to ensure that you make money to ensure that you buy these fruits. There's supplements, just to keep body and soul. And so,
do we still have more training stories?
Yeah, we can still go on and on. We haven't really talked about Amechi Monago.
What's wrong with him now?
He has partial stroke. Another actor. So I think people in the entertainment industry, Nollywood to be precise, they need to watch what they eat. They need to watch what they
their lifestyle too, Shegun. I think their lifestyle, they need to watch their lifestyle. People in the entertainment industry, a lot of times they want to relax, they just want to take any kind of alcohol and all of that, not considering their health. You have to be you have to think ahead, because you don't have to always think the moment. Thinking the moment is not enough, but also thinking about old age, thinking about
absolutely,
so many
I agree with you, Nikki. And if you notice the trend, it is the men. I don't know if you guys are thinking what I'm thinking. Is the men,
because they are being careless with their health.
So a lot of men, research has shown that a lot of men don't prioritize their health. They don't eat properly, and when you are 40 and above, you should take your health seriously.
Extra cognizance.
You should run several tests, check for everything.
All right, Solomon, I wish we can continue to talk about what's trending, but viewers, we have to look at what the dailies are saying. So right about now, we take a short break, and when we return, it will be time for us to know what is going on with the dailies. So stay with us. what the dailies are saying. And of course, Patience Willie is here to lead us with the paper review. Patience Willie, I love this you're in now.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you're looking as beautiful as ever. And Mr. Solomon in the house, you're looking good.
Thank you.
What the papers are saying, the nation's newspapers, the major story in the nation's newspaper says, Senate House agreement raises student loan to 10 billion. And the writer says, yacht item dropped as president signs 2.17 trillion supplementary budget. Another writer says, Senate launches probe on this issue. Then there's another story that says NLC strike fails to hold in Imo. The writer says offices open, airport in operation, power cut enters day 7. Now, Nikki, what do you think about this strike that failed in Imo State?
Well, I think I'm not surprised about this very strike because as of yesterday, you saw the Inspector General of Police, of course, being represented by the first Public Relations Officer, Muiwa Dijobi, coming out to say that vehicular movement has been restricted in preparation, of course, for the Imo State election. And now, do not forget that the fight of the Nigeria Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress is against the governor and, of course, the police. You know that the Comrade Joe Ajero
allegiance to the governor, so yes, they will not support Ajero.
Yes, you know that Comrade Joe Ajero, of course, the NLC president, has come out to say that those that brutalized him are the police officers. And of course, the police came out to say that nothing of such, that they only took him in protective custody. And now the governor also came out to say that nothing was done to him. It was just about the union members having argument, and there was a fracas, and that was why that it was just being partisan. Why is it being political? He should be apolitical as the leader of the NLC. And now, so I'm not surprised, because we want to do everything possible to guard against what can disrupt the election, because they believe that a lot of money has been put into this, and of course the citizens, the indigents, the people of Imo State are also prepared for it. Do not forget that that the different political parties too must have campaigned here and there, and they wouldn't want a change of dates. And so now because you know what, they would have even come out with their their plan, to ground activities in Imo State with their strike before that time,
before the elections.
And they should have even been more strategic, because definitely politicians, it is by force, and that's why a lot of people still say that politics is a dirty game, and the people you see, they don't see gentlemen in politics, even when they appear to be gentle. The truth of the matter is they are like a lion in the den. So don't even go now. So right now, it is now a power tussle between, of course, the governor of the state, politicians, and the NLC, the trade, the organized labor, and of course the police. I was discussing with somebody very close yesterday, and he was saying, what's the NLC saying? Do they have arms? He said NLC does not have arms. No, he said so, and they want to face the police who have arms, and they want to face the politician. He said the game is like, the fight is like a
futile one.
A failed fight, So I'm not surprised, actually.
Solo.
Well, she has said most of what I wanted to say, and I'm not surprised also that the strike did not hold. We had a conversation about this
yesterday.
That was the topic of discussion.
And then we talked about how the NLC themselves, they are not as organized as they should be. And they're beginning to have fracas, some fractions with the Imo State government, and then so all of these divisions. And over the years, Nigerians have not come to trust the NLC when they call for a proposed strike. You know, so people are just going about their daily business, and this is not good for NLC. I mean, you have to regain your integrity. Yes. You have to stand for what you preach, and you have to be consistent. You know, it's so sad. So when we call for a national strike, I mean, Nigerians will just call these guys jokers.
Jokers, yes. Like our guest said yesterday, they're just like a toothless bulldog, always backing and no action.
You know, so it's quite
and to other stories, Power Minister threatens discos, gencos with license revocation. And then there's another story that says budget, 28 contractors bolt away with 8.6 billion naira mobilization cash. So how can these contractors just bolt away? I mean, they signed a contract with the government, I'm sure, and I'm sure they had guarantors. How is it possible for them to just bolt away with 8.6 billion naira mobilization cash?
My dear, like I always say, you make me laugh, and I will laugh in capital letters, and so let me do that like this. This is a very funny situation, and I will always tell you that there wouldn't be anything that will be so new in Nigeria. You understand me? You see, they're talking about 6.6 billion naira mobilization fee. Is it today that we've been talking, and a lot of people have been complaining about contracts abandoned? Projects will be awarded to group of contractors, and at the end of the day, they will fail to do what they are expected to do. What has government been doing? What is the punishment? I mean, can we get serious for once as a country? You understand me? If this has continued and it has not stopped, and now they're coming out to say 6.6, let me tell you the truth of the matter. The truth of the matter is, for those who are even shouting, maybe because they don't have a share in it.
Exactly.
Because the truth of the matter is, if they had a share in it,
nobody
most likely
would hear
the
about
information. Let me tell you, these contractors, they don't operate alone.
No, they don't.
They don't. The truth of the matter, and that's why some people say that the state we are in Nigeria, where we continue to lag behind, you cannot rule out civil servants.
Exactly.
Some politicians have said, do not blame us, blame the civil servants, because in most times when they come with amounts for a project, they will tell them inflate it because they also want to, they want their palms to be greased. So all of this boils down to corruption. There is corruption in our system. It has eaten deep into the fabric of this nation, and it is about time that all hands are on deck to ensure that we bring this corruption down. I think this will be a clarion call on the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, all of the anti-graft agencies to begin to do their work, to work effectively. I understand that they say he who pays the piper dictates the tune. But you see, in this part of the world, a lot of people are too timid to say truth to power. But we all cannot sleep and face the same direction. We need to have men of integrity. We need to have people who will demand for justice. We need to have people who will demand that good governance should come to the people.
But aside from demanding for this good justice and all that, we need to get a good judiciary in place, because our judiciary, just truly, the common Nigerian has lost faith. And talking about the judiciary, Emefiele out of custody after security bail. That can be found on page 4. I don't want us to go too much into this. Let's take the next paper.
Honestly. So now we move on to the Vanguard newspaper. The front line page of the Vanguard newspaper reads, exchange rate, NECA. Experts disagree on federal government's target. Of course, this one is talking about business, the economy, and the writer reads, recommend ways forward. How they intend to do it is still unclear. This is according to Amolebe. Federal government should not give exchange rate target. This is according to Uwizu. It will lead to fall in inflation. This is according to Kofi. World Bank, others would help to boost FX earnings. This is according to Omodian. Well, I think this is a right step in the right direction. All of these economists, they need to begin to, call on government for them to begin to work hard to ensure that the economy rebounds again.
Absolutely.
Another headline said, what Buhari's ex-ministers are saying about him, shocking. This is according to Kuka. Of course, you know Father Kuka. Father Kuka will always speak, and this is what we are saying. Let us begin to tell truth to power. Another headlines read on the front page of Vanguard. A bill, ex-CBN Governor Emefiele arrives home after 151 days in detention. I'm sure a lot of Nigerians are even saying that, why are they even releasing Emefiele? Because a lot of Nigerians lost their lives as a result of his policy. And it has also dragged the nation's economy backwards. Governor Uzodinma set to garner 68% total votes as opposition parties squabble. This is according to survey, of course, conducted by Vanguard. We found a story on page 26. This is the much that I can take in Vanguard.
And now to Daily Trust. The shouting headline says, after signing peace accord, Diri, Silva trade words over violence and arms stockpiling. The rider says opposition running mate Ododo signed peace accord in Kogi. Another rider says accord not mere formality. Abdul Salami tells candidate. And signing peace pact not enough. That's the police. And you find that on page 4 of the Daily Trust. Still on the Daily Trust, it says 4 airlines affected as unions bar flights in and out of Imo State. And then another story says, despite outcry, Tinubu signs 2.17 trillion naira supplementary budget. And that's on page 5 of the Daily Trust. And still on the Daily Trust, old banknotes remain legal tender according to the CBN. And there's another story. It's a document from the Zamfara state government. It says how Bello Matawali squandered over 1 billion naira for abandoned hotel services center, and that's according to the Zamfara government. There've been a lot of calling out, on the former
governor of Zamfara state.
And it seems like the government is quiet.
No, you see, from all fronts, there have been informations on how Matawale Bello ran that very state down. Ran it down. And as the governor of the state, I think it is high time that a former governor of Zamfara state
is probed.
Interestingly, who is now our Minister of State for Defense, should come out, and in fact, it should be probed.
It should be probed.
The federal government cannot continue to act like they are not listening, or they are not. They're not in the know. They're not in the know of what is happening. The activities of Matawale Bello should be probed. Exactly. And if all of these allegations are true, I see no reason why this same person should be our Minister of State for Defense. Or could it be a situation of where you now say that using the thief to monitor money, or to keep your money? There's a way to say it.
This is not safe at all, because it was alleged that he actually bought Hilux for Boko Haram members, and all the monies meant for education, for health, for agriculture in the state, he siphoned them to sponsor terrorism.
And we are saying, if we're a serious government,
can't possibly be they have to do something about it. It's not safe for him being our defense minister.
Absolutely. It is even the current Zamfara state government that is calling Matawale out.
And you see, like I said, I commend the courage of the government of Zamfara, especially the commissioner for budget, who came out. It is even on all social media.
Yes.
And why is the government pretending as if they are nothing in the know? And you see, this is where we say we continue to advocate the need for transparency and accountability. Yes. A governor is done and nobody is checking them. We say because he comes from my political party. I think it is high time we go beyond all of these sentiments of being in my political party or not being my political party. Let us call a spade a spade. Matawale Bello should be brought to book.
Absolutely. Matawale Bello should be probed. Still on insecurity, 30 days after abduction, 5 infants die as 12 villagers remain in kidnappers' den. so much to it.
Is that not what we are talking
That's
about?
what I just said. It's
why would you even expect insecurity to be nipped in the bud in Nigeria
when the defense minister is sponsoring?
When we are talking about a political a public office holder like Matawala Bello leaving the state and doing everything to encourage Boko Haram members. You understand? And then you now talk about, look at how many infants died. Look at the number. And this brings me also to what we were talking about yesterday, the importance of placing value on lives. The government of Nigeria, to me, appears like they don't really place importance on the value of Nigerians.
Absolutely.
If it is in the United States of America or in other climes, one of their citizens, nothing must happen to their citizens. Do you understand?
Yes.
I remember at a point in time, I have a brother that is in the U.S. Marine. There's a time he came to Nigeria and he said he cannot use beyond 1 week and nothing must happen to him. You see how much they attach seriousness on the life of their citizens. Now this is a Nigerian in the US that has become a United States citizen. Right here, as a citizen of Nigeria, there's nothing to gain. You're not safe in your country. You work, anything can happen. Please, as security agencies, we cannot continue to beat around the bush. We need to nip insecurity in the bud in the nation.
Absolutely.
Well, viewers, this is all we can take on newspaper review. It will be time for us to look at the compulsory free universal basic education bill, where the senators are proposing that parents who fail in their responsibility to send their their children, or guardians who fail also to send their words to school will face a jail term. So join us again with our guest to look at this very matter.
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
We need to remove him, otherwise we are going to be in trouble. You must kill him today, not tomorrow. Today!
There's a handsome prize on your head, and if you can top it, you walk free.
She's even awake. She's awake?
Will you stop that? Don't dare repeat that again. What is she doing? I don't know.
My son is nowhere to be found and you asked me to relax. I can't.
So we're not going to eat?
You have to eat. Look at you. So you actually want to eat that food?
The way this food is smelling, I think it's really going to be delicious.
Oh my son! Oh my son!
What are you doing here?
I will not let you send her out.
She's your rival, you know.
I know she's your wife, and I know it's not right for you to treat her like that.
You heard me. Send yourself out before I come back to this house.
High Chief Major General James. Good evening.
What is good about this evening? Huh?
What happened now?
Don't mind them. You're not going anywhere. You stay.
Please. Please.
I needed a drink. You could have called me.
I'm not the father of a thief.
And that is what your son is. A thief. Stole the document to my... And I swear, he's going to rot it.
Hello?
Family ties, a thorn.
How old are you?
I'm 25.
Yay! 25 years.
When people from different backgrounds live together, there is bound to be dispute of boundaries, shared amenities.
Hey, Ajani. Yes, sir. There is problem in the house. Like, it no go happen. My brother wife. See, now me supposed to inherit that woman. No.
Baby Julius.
Baby
Julius. Baby.
Wait. I've been expecting this. The man is. I've been expecting this.
Starring your favorite star actors, face-to-face rebranded.
Mama Sule, if you don't get this, your rubbish off my place.
Humor hangout with Kofi the Guru, your host with the most. Ricky is a virgin. Why are you virginity?
I like food and I eat a lot, and you don't really think my body.
Wait, where's the eat a lot? What's the female for Philip?
Philip. It can't be Philippines. It can't be Filipina.
Philomena. Paul.
You have to stay humble and believe that you...
Hi, my name is...
You're still watching U45 Morning Show, and it is about a time where we begin to look at matters arising. And the issue before us this morning is the call that there is need for all parents and guardians to enroll their children, their wards, in school or risk imprisonment, or you pay the fine of 50,000 naira and beyond. Now, it will be important for me to give you the history of this very bill. And now the bill is known as Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act 2004. Let me quickly run through it. A bill that recommends a fine of 50,000 naira to parents who default in providing their children with primary and secondary school education has passed for first reading at the Senate. The Red Chamber of the Nigeria National Assembly recommended free meals for every child in the country. The bill proposed by Senator Orji Uzokalu, titled Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act 2004, Section 2 states that every government in Nigeria shall provide free, compulsory, and universal basic education for every child of primary and junior secondary school age. The Act further states that every parent shall ensure that his child or ward attends and completes the primary school education and junior secondary school education by endeavoring to send the child to primary and junior secondary school. The Act further states that stakeholders in education in a local government area shall ensure that every parent or person who has the care and custody of a child performs the duty imposed on him under Section 2, subsection 2 of this very Act. The Act also noted that the parents who contravenes the earlier prescription should be liable on the first conviction to be reprimanded. On the second conviction, a fee of 2,000 naira or imprisonment for a term of 1 month or both, and on subsequent conviction to a fine of 5,000 naira or imprisonment for a term of 2 months or both. And now it will be important for me to state to you that this fine of 2,000 has also been increased to 20,000, while that of 5,000 has been increased to 50,000, and that of 50,000 to 100,000. We are now being joined by our guest this morning. Join me to welcome Destiny. Join me to welcome Destiny Takon. Destiny Takon is a legal practitioner and, of course, a public analyst. Takon, many thanks for coming on the U45 Morning Show.
Thank you, Lenike. Glad to be here again.
All right. Yes, Takon, this Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act 2004. Yes, it is expected that Nigerians should be, elated that at least we are trying to ensure that every child is educated. And like they say, train a child, you train a nation. And they say that education remains the bedrock of any society. I first want to get your reaction about this very development.
All right, thank you so much, Lenike. Yes, indeed, education is also supposed to be the bedrock for national development. I mean, that should be for every nation. Yes, indeed. And of course, the act we're talking about is not a new act. It's not a bill like, to birth a new act, a new law, as it were. It is an amendment, actually, of an existing act, like you called it, like you read, 2004. It's been there. It's just because of what we are as a people, lack of will, to prosecute or implement. We're very good at ideas. We're very fantastic as ideas, but implementation is always our problem. Now my thoughts about this amendment, simply, I'd start by saying I'm not a pretentious person, and of course in this platform and elsewhere I always see my views. I always see administration in life as a Nigerian. That's how it's supposed to be. If I don't say these things now, when would I? I'm a grandfather now as I speak, and I thank God for that. So I want a Nigeria good enough for me, for my children, my grandchildren, and great-grandchildren if Jesus tarries, Okay, so now we are people, Nigerians as a people, or the leadership of Nigerians. Let me not put all of Nigerians in there. The leadership of Nigeria is very pretentious and always unserious, and that's why we're where we are today as a people, as a nation, stagnated, and of course several steps backward from where the world expects us to be. We're talking about compulsory free education at the primary and secondary. In fact, it actually says up to no, not tertiary actually. Even the secondary, it's at junior secondary school. And it normally, notionally, it's a good thing. It sounds good, but we're people who are very good at window dressing, as I said earlier on. Laying a premise. We want to ensure that parents, as it were, we want to criminalize the failure of any parent to ensure is the language used, in the act, ensure that any child, or we want to enforce it now because it's been there. I'll try to be careful now. That parents are punished, for failing to ensure, that the children, their wards and guardians, of course, go to school. And then we are a nation where we do not appear to show the same body language that indeed education is a bedrock. We legitimize actions, using even our legal system that do not tend to show that education is indeed the bedrock. We have situations where a person has qualified as president of Nigeria, only by affidavit, and he was said to be eminently qualified. Only by an affidavit, he lacked any certificate. He could even produce, a secondary school certificate. We have also seen situations where people have produced certificates that are forged and they are legalized, and then we also have in the National Assembly, in the councils and everywhere, people who lack, real qualification in education. So when we're saying this, is it saying it's just about time now that we've gotten a rude awakening and we want to turn around? Maybe if that's what this amendment is, I would say kudos, wonderful. Nigeria will gradually begin to turn, a new leaf. All right, now in the same vein, talking about our people in governance not being serious, about the things they are just paying lip service and window dressing. We have a nation where today, as we speak, parents are struggling, to even feed their children. Why? Because of policies of our government. And of course, when you have people who eminently qualify by affidavit and people who are, don't have certificate or tender forged certificates and get away with it, what do you expect the people in governance to be? There are people who themselves do not have the basic, proper educational background. And so it doesn't really matter to them what happens to, and so as I was saying, parents cannot even afford, to feed
themselves,
and they are expected to ensure. Now the same federal government, this is the National Assembly, Senate. Jack's
about to ask, yes.
I don't know how much time we have. So Jack's up the school fees of Unity schools from 45,000 naira to 100,000. And here you come back and say you are making, there's an amendment to a law, existing law, of a Nigerian worker. 30,000, which a lot of states said they can't pay, and that comes in, you come out, we are people who want to set up structure. All of this I keep saying, points to what? Absence of people who are rightly, let me know, I don't want to go to any qualified, like it was used, and we had somebody who had an affidavit rule us. So we have people who are not properly educated or who lack certificates in governance. And so you ban rice. I'm just trying to illustrate and get all of this right. You ban importation of rice without ensuring there's local production. Yes. You visit hardship on Nigerians, irreparable hardship on Nigerians. You decide and say we remove subsidy, and you've not taken any step at all to ensure that there's local production, that the refineries are refining the crude that God gave Nigeria. You've not done that. And then you say I've removed subsidy and jack up the pump price of fuel from under 200 to over 600. And we are pretentious. And then what has that done? Parents can't even pay school fees as we speak now, even in public institutions. We have seen, like I gave the instance of Unity School, that of the universities has also been jacked up. It's all about education, as far as I'm concerned, whether at the primary and secondary up to tertiary, it's all part of it. So you're saying all of this, you're not mindful about making sure that you put proper amenities in place to cushion the effect of policies, harsh and unreasonable policies of governance. And then you want to bring an amendment to an existing law to punish parents. What is the morality of that amendment.
All right, talking about what is the morality of that very bill, you just said something. You said that the government has visited irreparable hardship on Nigerians. Okay, now that they are now, you know, they've come out to say that parents will be jailed, what would you suggest should have been the way forward rather than, visiting more hardship on Nigerians?
It's a good thing, like I said, to have that existing act, to give it a bite, not in the sense of laying emphasis on, jailing parents and guidance, who fail to ensure. Whereas you have not, as I said, put in place the substructure. Let's dwell on, first of all, the substructure. Let's ensure that Nigerians have the policies of governance. It's about time. And whoever said government is a continuum, governance is a continuum, it's supposed to be continuity. Why can't we visit and even revisit policies of governments that had visited hardship on Nigerians? Why can't we decide and say government is coming in to bring down the cost of this, the cost of that? Government is changing this policy and that policy. And there was a time we talked about price control. A free economy, a free, unregulated economy, are we really right for an unregulated economy? No, we're not. Look at electricity. Today, as you know, it has been handed over to, permit me to say, I know I'm on TV, but people I want to say are unscrupulous Nigerians, what are they doing? We all know the story. I know what I fought to get a prepaid meter in my own house.
True.
I know what Nigerians are going through. You pay, I call it a contribution, a monthly contribution to some unscrupulous people who have hijacked the reins of governance and distributed to themselves the assets and amenities of Nigeria, and make you pay a contribution to them to add up to stolen wealth. That's my view. So they have. These are an impoverished citizenry that every policy of government appears to impoverish them on a daily basis. And then you still allow these things to go on. So let's first of all visit most policies of government, even those in the past, present, immediate past, and all of that, and try to give a sense of hope and security for Nigerians.
Sense of belonging.
It's in so many diverse areas. Sitting here, I don't know what time we have, like I said, will be so difficult, but every Nigerian knows, and every person who should care out there in government, even though they don't really care, and that's my view, knows what I'm talking about. It is very, very those things, and ensuring that their cabals, those who have the stranglehold of Nigeria, remain, in the reins of governance, so that because it is an educated population that can challenge them.
No.
It's an educated population. So if they keep impoverished and dehumanized and uneducated, they ensure that after them, their children, their cronies, and their in-laws and all of that are the ones who remain in government and keep sharing and distributing a common heritage.
Now, let's look at a law point of view. As a lawyer, would this law infringe on parental rights or individual rights?
Well, what is a right? That's where you would want to say, when you say right, that's going into the framework of law. Yes. A right is what the law recognizes, all right? Yes, okay, then their natural rights, agreed. Yes. Let me not be misunderstood. Their natural rights, God-given rights, okay? And they are also legally, given rights, So if you say there's an infringement, at law we say ubi jus ibi remedium, meaning it's a Latin phrase, meaning that where a right exists, a remedy exists or should exist. It exists or should exist. It's a basic way to say, look, this is a right, and if that right has been breached, there must be a remedy, for it. So what are the rights of a parent? That's what we're going to now. What are the rights that the law of Nigeria or the laws of Nigeria recognize for parents? That you think this act would be breaching. Yes, it's your right to the child has a right to life. The parents, a natural right, to produce or reproduce, God-given right, going into the world and reproduce, and it's a God-given right. But then you also have a right or responsibility, not a right as it were, to provide necessities. That's recognized as law. That's more like not a right but an obligation. You have an obligation to provide necessities, and indeed it is an offense for failure to provide necessaries, for your family. But as to is this act, as it were, or as going to be amended or proposed to be amended, infringing on the rights of any parent, I do not see that in the light of existing laws, to say it's infringing on any right. But that's why I talked in the realm of morality and legitimacy. Those who know understand what I'm saying. That is it a rightful thing? Is it morally right? Is it what we should do at this stage when you have impoverished people, you have dehumanized them, and then you want to bring this burden on them again, because our governance has been all too good at heaping burdens and burdens and burdens upon the people. With every policy of governance taking out of the pockets of Nigerians. That's what our policies have always been. I have had to say so very often that Nigerians are surviving, not on the basis of what assistance or enabling environment that government provides for them. Nigerians are succeeding because they have a natural drive of their own to survive. Because there's almost total absence of governance in the lives of Nigerians. With every policy, yes, they are taken away from you. Yes. Effect of a terrible, wicked policy of taking crude from Nigeria, at the premium, transporting it at the premium to refineries outside Nigeria, refine it at the premium, and transport it back at the premium and pass it to Nigerians. That's what the subsidy is all about. Because if our refineries were working, we wouldn't be talking about subsidies. And one government after the other, they refuse to make sure our refineries work, and they have the audacity and the facelessness to tell Nigerians every now and then about subsidy. It's shameful.
Now, considering all this, what are the potential drawbacks or intended consequences of this law?
It is very clear, in simple terms, what that means. Where this is headed, if it's allowed to be, if it passes, and of course, I expect Nigerians to rise up overwhelmingly, and cry that how much more burdens. I wish, like in the Bible, when King Rehoboam tried to levy too much burden on them, and then what happened to your tent, O Israel? I wish Nigerians could say that, because this is yet another burden on them. And I do not think that it's one that should be allowed to stay or stand, in the sense of it is one burden too many. It is a law. It's been in existence and in abeyance. Abeyance means it's been sleeping like a dog. Please let it sleep where it is. Yes. Let it be there. National Assembly, Senate. Nigerians are suffering too much. The legislature is one of the three arms of governance, and you have not done anything in our view yet, to let Nigerians know that this is our country. A sense of responsibility and belonging, security of life and expectation and hope for Nigerians. Why don't you take your time out and think about those things? And please, all this show business is not what we need. It's not compulsory that you come up with it. Once you come up with a bill, just to say I was there and I came up with a bill, what is the purpose of this bill? How is it affecting the lives of Nigerians? How is it improving? What we need now is everything that improves the well-being of Nigerians.
Okay, now let me take you on this tack. This very act itself also makes it compulsory, of course, for the government to also ensure the rights of children to be educated. And now we're talking about Nigerians going through hardship, hard time, a bad economy. Of course, a bag of rice, then the state now goes as huge as 60,000 naira. Yeah. Now we're talking about November. We don't know what we're going to see in December. And not to talk of January, because I know in this part of the world we always wake up to a new year where the government will surprise us with something that citizens will begin to ponder and wonder how do they begin to arrange their life or survive again.
Exactly.
Now, if government is coming out after the removal of fuel subsidy to increase fees, government to unity schools fees are being increased. I have a son at Air Force Secondary School. After payment, we were told that we need to pay extra 15,000 naira. Now, nobody cares how parents are going to get this money and pay, okay? On the part of the Senate, the government, what do you think that parents can actually sue the government on this kind of act where you are forcing them that if they cannot, they should pay this very amount of money?
Well, I tell you frankly, you touched on a bit of, yes, I said one thing, that if this is a rude awakening on the part of governance, to ensure that every child is educated, it's a good development, but it's not the way to start. Let's start by making provision for amenities or the substructure for this. And what is it? I'm coming to what you said. All right. I've read stuff in my, during my research, how that in the north, especially northern part of the country, that half of the teachers, in the secondary schools are not qualified, and of course you have a situation where, of course, you know what that means, where the teachers are not qualified.
Yeah, they can't even pay the qualified ones.
Yeah, why? Exactly. And then you have, right now, you have migration from private to public schools because of the hardship in the country, visited by, I drive, look, these days, I tell you, I restrict my movement because of the cost of buying fuel. If it's not something I really have to go for, I'd rather stay at home or just stay in my office, or if it's a meeting, thank God for what COVID came to show all of us. Do it visually, go use technology. Why? Because of all of this, the hardship, everybody's trying to just cut down. So let government, first of all, make sure that you pay workers, pay teachers, make provision for the necessary equipment, laboratories, and everything. Universal basic education. I benefited from it growing up. We had free exercise books. We had free textbooks.
What about meals?
Well, we didn't have meals at my time. I never had a meal in school.
Since you're a grandfather now.
So yes, I'm talking about my time, yes. This amendment is talking about also there should be meals and all of that. It's not the meal in school that matters. So talking about beef, like I said, let's keep this amendment aside. We're saying first thing what government should do is make sure that there's an enabling environment, first of all, before bringing this. That's why I say a substructure, what do you call it, before the, what do you call it now? The superstructure. All right, so pay teachers, make provision for amenities in the schools, equipment in the laboratories, and it's all part of it before going to this. And enable government as well, okay, I think they get the allocations. Ensure that every state government, makes its allocations get down to the local governments where the primary schools are and all of that, where the chairman and education authorities in the local government can ensure that these things are actually implemented. When you've done all of that, then you can now visit any parent who fails to ensure that the child goes to school after government has provided the enabling environment, everything for learning. don't start from the parent when you've not done that.
So I would be right to say this is like placing the horse before the cart.
Exactly.
For the Senate. We only hope that the Senate, our lawmakers, will listen to some of the advice that our guest, Akon Destiny, has given this morning. Well, right about now, we'll quickly take a short break, and when we return, we will be looking at almost 14,000 Nigerians who now face deportation from Germany. We will also be looking at this topic with our guests, so join us again. Act 2004, and our guest has been able to do justice to the topic of discussion. And now, away from that, we want to quickly look at a very important development, and this development is that about 14,000 Nigerians living in Germany face deportation. They will be returned back to Nigeria. But of course, what is the reason? You remember that the German Chancellor was in Nigeria recently, met by High Coastal with President Bola Tinubu, and they told us what was discussed. But we are amazed that this is the development that followed that very visit. Nigerians living in Germany and seeking asylum risk deportation for lack of identification cards. A condition of tolerance in Germany. He also said this is as a result of the Nigerian government's reluctance to admit people without into this development. A lot of Nigerians at the moment, they are eager to, let me use the word, the street language, eager to japa from the country. You need to go to the centers where they carry out their medicals. You'll be amazed. The high number of Nigerians queuing, and so many of them at the end of the day will still be refused the visa. And what a view. Nigerians are really running. They are thinking of how they will run out of the hardship in the country. And here we are, the German Chancellor saying that over 12,000 or 13,000, approximately 14,000 Nigerians risk of being deported back to the nation.
Yeah, then it's purely an indication, of course, a further potential that underscores, the complete state of despair, and hopelessness, as it were, that governance has been visiting on Nigerians, except for those who trust, love God absolutely, and have perhaps the only hope Nigerians truly
have conscience.
Yes, is the only true hope Nigerians have is in God. That has been. I talked about earlier and say that when we're talking about the other part, the other discussion, that Nigerians actually live by their own ingenuity. As government tightens the noose on their necks with terrible policies, they dig deeper, and find a way to see get along, But it gets to a point where if you know that there is somewhere where, greener pastures, appear to be available, you wake up and you hear, oh, he's gone. They've gone.
I'm telling you,
it's saddening. It's ruined. It's a terrible. They have never actually cared or laid premium on the life or well-being of Nigerians. Yeah. And that's why, like we see, all of these policies go in the direction they do. Why some of these countries that people are running to, given the blessings of this nation in human capital and natural resources, they don't come anywhere near us. What is our bane? In my view, our bane is very take off we can. And it also showed the difference between, I want to really applaud, and I'm thankful to the government of the Germany, the Federation or something, I don't know, or Germany as a nation. We are in a position to repatriate or send back your citizens. People. But 14,000 of them are a burden to them. Economies are not doing too well all over, but you see, there are nations where institutions are working. The problem with us is that our institutions are not working. Yeah. Our democratic institutions are not working because some entrenched interests refuse to allow our democratic institutions to work. It's in the hands of solid few who have a stranglehold and want things to reign that way. Now, talking about those Nigerians, what I expect this government to do, thank God it has come to the open.
Also responded, and this is what the president said. Tinubu said that his administration is ready to allow people to. He said, rather, they ought to cease providing 640 million euros in development funds. That is, the government is making commitments to giving 640 million. But where I also want us to look at is the condition. There's a clause for those who have behaved well there. So which means for those who have not behaved well there, what becomes their fate? Are they not Nigerians?
The question I would ask is, what is their definition?
He should be in prison by now.
Exactly.
Or some other correctional institution, if you have not behaved well. So you sit back here in the comfort of God knows where you are, and you put up such definitions. Nigerians who have behaved well. Did the government of Nigeria behave well to have made its own citizens run away to seek greener pastures elsewhere? Certainly not. No Nigerian who means well for this nation and who is right thinking will say we have a governance that's ever thought and meant well for Nigerians enough to be able to stand up with panache and the level of justification to say very tumultuous waters, to get to Europe, to get to Germany. We're talking about Germany alone.
Many people died
every European nation.
They're
at every European nation. They God has spared them to be there. What I expect this government to do is eat crow, admit the truth, and arrange for national ID cards, send a delegation over to really profile or cleavage of the embassy or high commission or whatever it is called in Germany, and then you can send officials from here as well, and then make sure they have the national ID cards so that the government of Germany, that's all they're asking of you. That's what they came to say, not to say